Hi, my name is Asha Fahana binti Muhammad Hairi.
Hi, my name is Hazika Nadira binti Hassan. My ID student 2022799037.
Hi, my name is Uitm Alor Gajah and my metric number is 2022777375.
Hi, my name is Nafana binti Abdul Rahman and my metric number is 20221569553.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Haji binti Kamaluddin. My ID student is 2022129971.
What is food crisis? A food crisis arises when hunger and malnutrition rates grow dramatically at the local, national, or global levels. This concept differentiates a food crisis from chronic hunger, despite the fact that food crises are significantly more common in communities who are already suffering from protected hunger and malnutrition. Millions of people worldwide are affected by the global food crisis. Due to the ongoing food crisis and fresh shock, record level of severe food insecurity prevailed in 2023. 238 million people are suffering acute food insecurity in 48 countries, a 10% increase from 2022. How does food crisis happen? Food crisis is frequently caused by poverty. Conflict and violence can make it difficult for individuals to obtain the food they require, while climate change and natural catastrophes can also diminish people's food supply. Who are affected by the food crisis? Individual children, women, pregnant women, and old people are suffering from the devastating consequences of such extreme hunger behind the huge figures. Malnutrition mothers have malnourished children, carrying on hunger from generation to generation. Children's physical and cognitive development is hampered. Which country that having the food crisis? Burkina Faso, Mali, Palestine, South Sudan and Sudan are the highest of the food crisis problem due to the devastating combination of factors including weather extreme, armed conflict and economic shock such as soaring prices are together creating a food crisis of unpredicted proportion globally.
The evidence for food crisis, extreme weather, conflicts, economic upheavals, and skyrocketing fertilizer costs are all contributing to the historic food crisis. Up to 783 million people struggling with the chronic hunger. World Food Programme WFP said we must take immediate action to save life and fund initiatives that provide food security, stability, and peace for all, lest we witness a rise in global hunger. The Global Report on Food Crisis 2023, produced by the Food Security Information Network (FSIN) in support the Global Network Against Food Crisis (GNAFC), is the result of the collaborative effort among 60 partners to achieve a joint consensus-based assessment of acute food insecurity in GRFC's country. Based on the report by the Global Report on Food Crisis GRFC in 2022, around 51 million people face high levels of acute food insecurity in the 5 major food crisis countries in Asia. The increase in those countries from almost 29 million in 2021 was largely due to the inclusion of the Myanmar and Sri Lanka and their categorization as a major food crisis for the first time in GRFC. Together accounting for over 21 million people faces high levels of acute food insecurity in 2022. Afghanistan was Asia's largest food crisis, accounting for 39% of the region population in the highest basis of acute food insecurity, and followed by Myanmar, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and the Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. Next, based on the report by Global Report of Food Crisis GRFC, about 34.1 million people face high levels of acute food insecurity in 8 countries or territories in the Middle East and North Africa. MENA region in 2022, up from 31.9 million in 2021. When considering only the country or territories with data available in both years, there were an additional 1 million people experiencing high levels of acute food insecurity. Yemen and Syrian Arab Republic hosted around 86% of the region population facing high levels of acute food insecurity and continue to be among the world's largest protracted food crisis in 2022. Additional information, there are many more things that cause this food crisis if examined from more deeply. This year, the issue of war between two countries can also cause the existence of this food crisis when the country insists on blocking aid sources such as food, electricity and emergency aid from foreign countries, causing the country involved to also experience a food crisis and causing the public who are not involved to be impacted. This clearly shows that the content of the war involving genocide is the cause of the food crisis for the people of the country.
Why it's happened? Climate change. Change in climate patterns can affect agricultural productivity. Shift in temperature and perception levels can leading to decreased food production in certain regions. Conflict and political instability. War and political instability can disrupt food production, distribution and access. Conflict can lead to the displacement of people, making it difficult for them to grow or access food. Economic factors. Economic issues such as inflation, currency devaluation, and high level of poverty can contribute to food crisis. Natural disaster. Events such as drought, floods, hurricanes, and other extreme weather conditions can have a severe impact on agriculture. Food waste. According to the World Programme, over 1 billion tons of food produced is never consumed. Population growth. Rapid population growth in certain regions can outpace the ability of local agriculture to provide enough food.
Several rice-producing countries have previously announced a ban on rice export. The ramification for Malaysia's 32 billion people who rely on imports of many of these important foods. Many citizens have even raised the alarm about a possible food crisis as early as the start of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. But many others countered by telling the people not to be paranoid as the war was too far away and we were okay as we have all money, hoping that this politician will be able to put a stop to their political ambition and return the country to address the food issues. The ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia has the potential to have an indirect influence on Malaysian food security, as it causes disruption in global food market, notably for commodities such as wheat and other grain. The conflict ramification could cause supply chain disruption, price fluctuation, and possible scarcity in global market, affecting food cost and availability in important countries like Malaysia, which import a substantial amount of its food. The government continues the forge ahead with initiative aim for fortify the nation's food security as part of the Madani economic strategy. Experts have weighed in on the effectiveness of this measure. Former Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Deputy Minister Simtizi said the risk of food insecurity might loom in the near term, especially when India held its pride export globally. This comes after India announced its discussion on July 20, 2023 to halt the export of non-Basmati white rice with immediate effect due to the purpose of reducing rice price within the country and ensuring a steady supply of rice for domestic consumption.
Moral of food crisis, responsibility for basic needs, the moral obligation to ensure that all individuals have access to an adequate and nutritious supply of food. Basic sustenance is a fundamental human right, and addressing food crisis is a shared responsibility. Equity and fairness. The importance of promoting equity and fairness in the distribution of food resources. Many food crises are exacerbated by disparities in access, wealth, and power. Crisis response. The moral imperative to respond ethically and swiftly during times of crisis. Effective emergency responses should prioritize the needs of the most vulnerable population and ensure that aid reaches those who need it the most. International cooperation, the moral duty to foster international cooperation in addressing global and food challenges, Food crises often transcend border, and collaborative efforts are essential to finding long-term solutions that consider the needs of diverse communities and nations. How to solve the food crisis? Sustainable agriculture practices promote and support sustainable farming methods that conserve soil, water, and biodiversity. This includes agroecology, organic farming, and other practices that reduce environmental impact. Education and training educate and teach farmers in contemporary, environmentally friendly farming methods. Providing farmers with information and skills increases their productivity and resilience to a range of obstacles. Social safety nets implement and strengthen social safety nets such as cash transfer programs and food assistance programs to support vulnerable population during times of crisis or food scarcity. Invest in research and technology, support research and development of innovative technology to increase agriculture productivity, improve crop resilience to climate change, and enhance the efficiency of food production system. Diversification of agriculture encourage diversification of crops to enhance food security. Monoculture is susceptible to pest and climate-related risks, while a diversified agriculture system can provide a more stable source of food.